Welcome back. Well, today, as always, we are focusing on positive masculinity. And so, upon looking and searching on YouTube, we ran across a clip that, in my opinion, really embodies positive masculinity. But I want you to notice some of the statements that this gentleman makes and the posture that he takes toward what he's having to do now. Remember, we are always looking for accountability, determination, and discipline. Those three factors, the ad mentality. And this particular person takes quite a bit of accountability in his daily life, and then he decided to add more to his plate. Let's see what example we can learn from this particular video. Let's get into it.
The attention, I'm not used to it. I don't think that I've done anything worthy of distinction to warrant the attention.
This is Henry Darby, Walmart associate by night, stocking shelves on the graveyard shift from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. But he has a day job too, a tough one at that.
Good morning. How you doing?
As a beloved principal of North Charleston High School in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Well, then put your jacket on, please. Do not go in that building without your jacket on. COVID-19 has really placed a damper on the personal relationship because at North Charleston High School, we do express the 3 R's: rigor, relevance, and relationship. Everybody knows that I'm a hugger. When I see my student, come here, boy, come here, child, come here, give me a bigger. Meet them at the door, off the buses. You got problems, then come here, give me a hug anyhow. I'm just that type of guy.
He's also the kind of guy who knocks on his students' doors after school and on weekends to check in. A student body who has 90% of their families living below the poverty line. The pandemic hitting his community especially hard.
I get a little emotional because when you've got children, you've heard sleeping under a bridge, or a former student and her child is sleeping in a car, or when you go to a parent house because there's problems and you knock on the door, there are no curtains and you see a mattress on the floor, and these people need, and I wasn't going to say no. And at my age, you know, we don't ask for money. We just don't. You just go ahead and do what you need to do.
And Mr. Darby did. That night shift at Walmart, it's for them. Every paycheck, every dime, all of it goes to helping his students in need. He has done so quietly, not even telling his manager at Walmart about his day job.
Even before we knew, it was something special about him. I would be so happy to have Mr. Darby for as long as he will have us as a part of his family and beyond.
His endurance, almost superhuman, walking what must be miles through his high school hallways during the day and stocking what looks like miles of shelves at Walmart at night. It's shocking to everyone but his students because they know that's just the kind of man he is.
He's ready to help anybody.
He's impacting the community in a very special way.
He's there when you least expect it, but when you need him the most.
Mr. Darby's only request of his students, whom he calls his grandchildren, is to pay it forward.
It's quite simple, simplistic. Just learn to help others. That is one of the greatest things that we could do in terms of human beings.
Simple, yet powerful words from a man who knows that one person might not change the world, but they might change the world for one person, and that can make all the difference.
I am an optimist, but I'm also a determinist. I know that it's going to get better. I know that these times will not always be with us. I know that my students will not always be in poverty. I know that because that's what we are. America makes it better for everybody.
Okay, so now that's the end of the video. And if you notice, throughout the clip, I never interrupted. Because in this particular instance, I think it would have been quite disrespectful. Mr. Darby, or should I say Principal Darby, has set a powerful example in positive masculinity. So why do we say that? Well, if you notice, when they were interviewing his students, uh, they referred to him many times as being an individual that's ready to help. So that means that he was ready to assist. And what is assistance? Assistance is taking the opportunity to provide and to protect. So why are those two notions important in this particular instance? Because that's what qualifies a man. You're qualified as a man if you take on the notion that you should be a protector and a provider. That's just basic to masculinity. But then do you also see that Principal Darby took on quite a bit of accountability, taking care of his students during the day, making sure that they had the educational regimen that would help them later on in life as a principal? But then afterward, did you notice that uh, he did more than what was required of him? Seeing his students and former students in the dire straits, he did what he could. But now, herein is where logic presents itself. Now, although a lot of emotion surrounds this particular situation, because we do feel for individuals who are disadvantaged, but if emotion is only used in the situation, then the only thing we'll be left with is feelings. But where the logic presents itself is that here this man, serving throughout the day as a principal, takes on the second job, stocking shelves at night, so that he'll have extra resources to help those in need. So the logic comes in where an individual looks at a situation, and although he might not be able to completely solve the situation, can he make this situation better? So you got to understand that even though Mr. Darby's added resources won't completely do away with the poverty that he sees around him, his example will most definitely help individuals to see what they need to do in life. Can you imagine the impact that what he's doing will have on his male students? They're seeing that as men, preferably alpha men, as men, it is our responsibility to do what we can to help, to assist, because our basic nature is to provide and to protect. And then you notice too that Principal Darby said that at his age, individuals didn't ask for money. They didn't do that. They just got out and they did what they had to do. I must admit that in all of the rhetoric that I've heard, especially in this sector of YouTube, and all the rhetoric that I've heard, that has to be the single most masculine statement that I've ever heard in my whole life. And trust me, I've heard some profound masculine statements, but his thought process and looking at the situation that he was facing was just do what you have to do. And does that sound like something that we talk about a lot on this platform? Pushing emotionality out so that you can see clearly what's needed in a particular situation. And then after you see what's needed, then now it's on you to come up with a solution. And that solution may not necessarily defeat the problem altogether, but it will most definitely help individuals, because the way that you handle a situation and what you bring into that situation to make it better has an impact on the individuals who are affected by that situation. The young boys and the young girls that are in poverty, as the video mentioned, Principal Darby only wanted to show them that whatever situation they were in, they could improve upon that situation. And then when they improved upon it, it was their responsibility to pay that forward. So do you see how putting that positive energy that he's putting out into the universe, is affecting everyone that's around him? So much so that if you watch the whole clip, you'll see that Walmart donated $50,000 to the school. So certainly that's going to go a long way in helping his students. But as we mentioned, we are focused on positive masculinity. You won't get anything negative from me. That's not what this platform is about. positive masculinity. Because in circumstances and situations where things look difficult, it's up to the men that are involved to stand up and make sure that things go the way that they should go. And so we appreciate Principal Darby. We thank him for his powerful example. And we can admit that we've learned quite a bit from him today, especially in terms of masculinity and accountability. I hope today goes well for everyone. Be easy.